Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining the Way to Wow. Bounce back with me, Leah Siegel. Thank you, my producer, Rabbi Kevin Bemmel, who graciously is working so hard behind the scenes, making sure everything runs smoothly. And if you missed last week, you can still see it on the YouTube channel. I interviewed an incredible gentleman, Mike Skripnik, and he shared his story about his childhood trauma, what really helped him heal, like true healing, and now what he's done with his life's mission. And he's an 8-time international best-selling author. So make sure you have a chance to listen to that. And even more than that, send it to someone you love who's been through something similar. Let's make this world a better place. So today, I am so lucky and honored and excited for all of us at the same time to get to know this incredible gentleman, Drew Berman, who I know lives in Connecticut, but I know he's traveling on business now. Tell us, Drew, are you at a state, where are you right now?
I am in an elated, happy state. Thank goodness. And I'm honored and happy to be here. I'm from New York. I live in Connecticut. I'm currently in New Jersey. Boom, there's the trifecta.
The tri-state. Okay, we got this. So there's so much to cover. And I think without like giving a million titles to you, I think your story is going to tell the world what it is that you do. I think your story alone is going to shed a lot of light, a lot of hope. I know our conversation yesterday was phenomenal. I learned so much and I love your high energy. And I love that you said yes to helping me. So let's first talk about you. Where did you grow up? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, thanks, Leah. And I just got to tell you and honor you, from our first conversation, I could hear your professionalism, your desire for entrepreneurial growth. I could hear your heart around family. And it was my honor that you invited me, even though it was a little last minute, we were able to make it happen. And I'm really actually thrilled here today. And hopefully we can deliver some value to the people that are listening. And hopefully through my story, people can have, whether they're in breakthrough or in rebound. The last couple of years have been challenging for humanity and at best confusing. There's been some chaos. So hopefully we can bring some joy, some love, some enthusiasm, some positivity today. And I've had an interesting journey, Leah. Maybe not unique. I mean, I grew up in Queens, right? A place suited for kings, right? That's from Coming to America with Eddie Murphy. And good childhood, healthy life, divorced parents, but it wasn't, I had 2 families and step parents and half sisters, all good. And then I got a unique opportunity to travel to Manhattan from Queens to high school. I went to a supposedly specialized high school. Stuyvesant High School is a fairly good, aggressive high school. I tested to get in. Went to George Washington University in DC, studied marketing and communications. Hillary Clinton, when she was first lady, spoke at my college graduation on the White House lawn, which is kind of fun. Fun fact. And then I grew out my hair. I had a ponytail. I wore a beard, and I did not have any corporate jobs lined up. I traveled cross country, and then spent the 90s learning business from real estate. I did Manhattan real estate. So I learned phones, people, calendar, business at a young, mid-20s in Manhattan in real estate. And then at 28 years old, the year 2000, from January 1st, 2000 to January 1st, 2001, I took a trip of a lifetime. I did a 35 country, 20,000 mile, 200 person, 6 continent bicycle ride around the world. And it was amazing. It was a dream. It was a pinch me adventure. I was 28, single. I had prepaid the whole trip by earning money in New York real estate. The lady I was dating, who was my girlfriend, who is now my wife, she couldn't make the trip with me for a lot of reasons. We had our bumps, but after the ride, which started in LA on January 1st, 2000, we rode our bikes through San Diego into Mexico to Tijuana, all the way down to southern Mexico to Baja, From Baja, we flew to Costa Rica, Costa Rica to Panama, Panama to Chile, Chile to Argentina. From Buenos Aires, Argentina, we flew across South America. We made it to Greece. From Athens, Greece, we did 2.5 months in Western Europe, Spain, Italy, France, Portugal, back to, from France, we flew back to the States. We did New York to Montreal, Montreal to Quebec City, back to Europe, another 2 months. We did Ireland and Scotland and Finland, and then back through Germany into Austria. From Austria, the wine country, we flew to Australia. We were in Sydney for the 2000 Olympics. And then we did 2.5 months of Asia, Vietnam, Singapore, China, Japan, and back in the United States, January 1st, 2001.
I have a lot of questions. I'm like, I can't believe what I'm hearing. Well, okay, first of all, how much training did you need to do to partake in this?
Yes, I was in pretty good shape. I had originally started training for the AIDS rides in late 90s. So Tanqueray from 96 to 99 did AIDS fundraisers. So I rode from Boston to New York 3 times and North Carolina to DC. I raised about $10,000 for AIDS services and I became a cyclist. And then when someone gave me the brochure, I looked at it. Everyone for the last 23 years reacts the same way you did, including me, my family, everybody. So when the brochure of Odyssey 2000 arrived that had never been done before or since, I signed up and I trained and I raised money and I created my whole life to leave.
This is unbelievable. Which leads to a couple more questions around this topic. And I know there's so much to learn about you. So what was so special about AIDS to you? What was the meaning behind that? You supported an incredible organization. It was so important, especially in LA at that time. Was there a personal reason?
Very, very profound and interesting question. How that's what you picked up on. In 1996, I was 24. My uncle had died of AIDS.
Wow.
The only one who was publicly gay at that point, aggressively publicly gay, was like Liberace. Like I was so young, like, maybe Elton John, but it was really, and it wasn't as hip to be gay back then. Like now it's like the coolest thing ever. So I bought a business booth at the Gay and Lesbian Business Expo in 1996 because I was doing, from real estate, I merged into cookware and I sold china, crystal, and cookware. And I learned business selling pots and pans. So to some I was the pan man, to some I was the pot guy, depending on who you ask. And at the expo, there was Tony and Tony's wedding. There was Coors Light beer. Their slogan was, we're here because we're beer. And across from me was the New York to Boston AIDS ride. And I signed up on the spot. I didn't own a bicycle. I was 24 and I thought it would be cool. And wow, now that you're asking me, I haven't told this story in 30 years.
This is so important. I don't have anything compared to that, but the 1 half marathon I ran was to support ALS because my friend's husband is dying of ALS and he's struggling with it for 9 years already. So there's always like that one thing that gets you motivated to do something. It has to hit you here. It has to make you, cry and get emotional because you love somebody. So back to questions on this round the world bike tour. I'm embarrassed to even ask because I probably should know this answer. You didn't take bikes with you on all these flights. Everywhere you landed, there were bikes ready for these 200 people. Tell me about this.
I mean, the logistics, Leah, I can tell for months. So basically, it was a logistical nightmare because I know you have a big family, an extended family, and multiple businesses, yes?
Yes.
So imagine the logistics of just running your family and all your businesses for a year.
How did you do it? It really was a year gone, MIA.
Well, it was an organized trip. So
right,
there
but
was
200 people are saying no to everything else in their life except this.
Yes.
Wow.
So we prepaid. So this was an organized tour by a professional bike company, but we had to deal with all the logistics of international travel. Back then it wasn't euro even. So all of Europe had different money currencies. We had to travel with money currencies and change it at banks. I mean, I had Chilean pesos because we were only in Buenos Aires for 2 days. So I had Chilean pesos. I would have had an opportunity to trade Chilean pesos in Argentina because they're bordering. But by the time I got to Europe, no one took Chilean pesos. So I had to wait a year to get back to Manhattan to exchange my Chilean pesos. I mean, everything from time zones to languages to logistics. Leah, the bikes, everyone had one bike. So Raleigh donated we had a Raleigh bike. Everyone had the same bike.
Wait,
Leah,
so the bike went with you on each flight?
Except to Japan.
How does an airline take a, I know this is not where we were supposed to talk about today. I'm just trying to visualize 200 bikes on an airplane.
Leah, the bikes did not make it to Japan. So we had a 10-day trip in Japan by bus with no bikes. And every airport, there were 18 international flights. Unreal. So every airport was chaotic and crazy when it was bikes. Some of them couldn't fit. I mean, we had to have a
sheik. Movie.
Oh, the movie's incredible. We had a sheik from like one of the, a sheik, like from one of the, Arab countries that owned 200 airplanes. And he had to pick us up in Buenos Aires and drive us and get us to Athens because the only flight as big as ours was Air Force One. We couldn't fly out of Argentina with the bikes, so we had to get a sheik. I mean, it was
cool.
Nuts. It was so.
This is really so. There is a movie. We can get our hands on this.
I'm still writing it, but
okay.
Yes, one day.
So speaking of writing it, let's segue a minute here, and we'll probably end up back at this because I'm floored. This is so cool. You wrote a book. Tell us about this. 4?
Yeah. So I've written 4 books. So one of them is a teeny tiny little book. It's like a 12-minute read. Depending on what company I'm in, I'll tell them people can read it in the bathroom. It's like literally, it's called The Law of Collaboration. I actually own that domain. I own thelawofcollaboration.com. It's don't tell Kevin this, but it's a like $10 billion brand idea that is still percolating, but I own thelawofcollaboration.com.
Nice.
Then I wrote You Can Have It All, the ultimate guide to making money, having fun, and living the good life. That's kind of a blueprint on team building, how I built a team, from cookware to the book, to the bike ride, back to real estate, fell into network marketing, failed for 5 years, learned all the things not to do, found another network marketing company, ended up in international business development for a health and wellness company, and figured out that most people were doing it wrong. I figured out a system that allowed me to personally enroll 700 people, grow a team to 15,000. And that's what that book is about, how to build teams locally and globally. That's called You Can Have It All.
I believe you can have it all. A lot of people say, you can't have your cake and eat it too. And I say, yes, you can. You could have it all. You could have this and that. I used to think my life was this or that, always having to sacrifice something, give up something. And I love your concept. And when you mentioned yesterday, network marketing, that just got me so excited because everything we do without even realizing, we're all in network marketing. When was the last time you saw a movie that you loved and didn't talk about it? When was the last time you ate in a nice restaurant, had a good steak and didn't talk about it? We talk about these things all day long. The Netflix show you're in the middle of. If you're already sharing experiences and you're getting people to do what you're doing, you might as well make money, right? Yeah. So talk to me about that.
Listen, you're singing my song. I mean, Leah, the expression you just made, like tongue in cheek, can't have your cake and eat it too. I think, why would you want to have cake and not be able to eat it? Like, what? That doesn't even make sense. So yeah, I found network marketing. I actually took it seriously. I'm a 23-year professional network marketing. I didn't dabble. I got introduced to my second company. At this point, I was involved in international leadership, T. Harv Eker, Millionaire Mind, Maverick Millionaire, Landmark, Tony Robbins, and I'm learning the nitty gritty of life and business. And I applied it to network marketing. I personally enrolled 700 people. I grew a team to 17,000. I sat on the field advisory board of a $1 billion company, and I helped them go from 250 million to $1 billion. And we started building teams all over US, Australia, UK. So my next book was called Be a Success Maverick, because I started working with Maverick Millionaire. and we started merging very very special team building and strategy and technique to the network marketing world that was not being taught anywhere. So I'm actually in 2 or 3 versions of Be a Success Maverick. It's a multi-author book, and we have another one coming out this July. And then my staple book is, and I also own this domain name and brand, Network Marketing 2.0, which is a global movement for network marketers around the world on how to actually do this as a profession professionally, so that, you know, when our kids graduate, they can have like I think in our generation, it's going to be like kids can graduate. What do you want to do? Do you want to be a doctor, a teacher, an engineer, a network marketer, a lawyer? Like,
Brilliant.
I believe it's becoming a true profession.
Brilliant.
Which leads me to where I am today. But I mean,
Yeah,
literally
where
today,
are you? Talk to me about where you're at as far as like physically. Talk to me about the conference. I'm curious.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you for asking all these questions. You are clearly exceptional at what you do. You've got your whole team here. I see Kevin, I see Marie, I see Moses, I see Rachel, and thank you for having me. This is,
you're welcome.
It's a joy to, you know, listen, I failed miserably. I was baby. I was busy but broke. I was going from event to event. I was event to event, baby. Excited and broke. I was baby, busy but broke. I was paying, Leah, I can't see you. I'm over 40. I'm paying $2,700 a month rent for a 700 square foot apartment in Manhattan.
Wow.
Leah, it's 2000, Kevin, it's 2005. I'm in my apartment. I've got a screaming 9-month-old.
God.
I'm paying $2,700 a month rent in my 700 square foot apartment. And I'm at an Amway meeting, and I'm sitting front row listening to the Diamonds talk about how to create wealth and prosperity. And my wife, if she was negative, it would have been an upgrade. She was cantankerous. And I'm sitting front row trying to learn from the millionaires how to get out of my broken, busted situation. And she calls. And I'm thinking, Moses, should I pick up the phone and answer my wife with a baby at home, or should I let it go to voicemail because I need to learn from the millionaires how to get out of my situation? So what does one do? I answer the phone, and she doesn't even say hello. She just holds the screaming baby up to the phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I know that one.
I'm like, WTF, which back then did not mean welcome to Facebook. And I'm thinking, what the heck is this lunatic woman who I love? Why is she calling me with the screaming baby when I know I'm already broke? She doesn't have to remind me. And I remember chasing prospects in a snowstorm. I remember it's 2004-ish. It's a winter storm like they don't have in California. It's a northeast winter storm with snowflakes the size of peaches that are coming sideways down the street. And my wife, who's going into her cute little pajamas and calling me to bed, I'm putting on snowshoes and a winter hat and gloves and scarves because I promised my upline that I would get 2 prospects today. And she's like, where the H? What the hell? I said, I got to get my 2 prospects.
Why didn't I meet you 9 years ago when I started my network marketing? You are hungry.
Oh my God. I'm walking down the street. I'm walking sideways in a snowstorm. And this guy is walking across the street. I'm like, hey. He's like, hey. I'm like, this is kind of crazy. He's like, yeah. I'm like, where do you live? He's like, that way. I'm like, oh, I live that way. I'm like, oh, by the way, are you the type of person that keeps options open for additional streams of income? He couldn't have run across the street faster.
We've all been there.
So when I figured it out, leadership, team building, communication, scalability, growth, marketing, language patterns, how not to sound cheesy, no elevator pitch, how to be integrous, truthful. And it took me probably tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of money I didn't have, learning from people who had what I wanted and modeling success.
Wow.
And then I wrote Network Marketing 2.0. I think that's bestseller. Two of them are bestseller. And then I think I told you yesterday, I got struck by lightning. Now I've been struck by lightning twice.
Wait.
The first,
Explain to the people listening, for real lightning or aha moments?
somewhere in between. So the first time was when I met Bob Proctor. Changed my life. Sat through a whole day seminar, raised my hand, called me up to stage. I said, Bob, super easy to listen to you all weekend, but what do we do tomorrow?
Yeah, when we go
And
home.
he handed me his pen. He said, write down tonight what you're going to accomplish in the next 30 days. Do everything I taught from Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich, and look down and remember that that's my pen. And I looked down, and guess what it said?
Tell me.
Bob's pen.
And he let you keep it.
And he just died, and his
I know.
legend continues. So I have Bob's pen, but from Bob Proctor to Jim Rohn to Tony Robbins to Sean Callagy is the second time I got hit by lightning with a company called UNBLINDED, and the UNBLINDED logo is a lightning bolt, which means illumination.
And that's the Sean I'm going to meet on Monday.
Correct.
I'm so excited.
Wow. So the show that I invited you to is called The Real Raw.
Yes.
There's no cost. It's high value. It's top leadership. And for your guests, and in honor of you, and in honor of us creating a long-term relationship, anyone who reaches out after the show, then listening to this, I don't know if we're Oprah and we're listening and millions are watching this, or we're just getting started and at least 7 of us are watching us. But if any of your listeners want to be on the show, reach out to me and we will put you on a Real Raw, which is a way where we work about integrity-based influence, how to open up listening, leaders causing leaders to make the world a better place through influence, through the hello to yes formula. And I'm like, okay, I got a call to be on The Real Raw. I was like, okay, I like the fact that the brand is a lightning bolt. It means illumination. What else do I need to know? And I started doing research about this Sean Callagy character. Leah, this man is like a business savant. He is like a combination of Steve Jobs, Albert Einstein, a little bit of Oprah. He is a channeled Yoda, and he is a business acceleration expert.
Wow. I
At
got to
5
see a
years
little
old,
clip of him yesterday, and I was just like, wow, this guy has just a great personality. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of talking to you. Just that there's always this happiness, high energy, which is reminding me of Tony Robbins. And Tony Robbins, I actually got to be this close to him. He spit on my face when he mentored us. He's very connected to our company, to our organization. And we got to have a private, when I say private, it was just 2,000 of us out of 50,000 of us. You have to qualify, of course. And I sat front row in Vegas with Tony, and this is 4 years ago. And it was amazing, amazing. And that kind of reminded me of, you know, your movement creates the energy, which creates everything.
Well, I'm not surprised we are getting along. I'm not surprised you are a student of Tony. He would be honored and pleased in your protege-ness and how professional and articulate and well-spoken, and what a good listener you are, how concerned, how great you are with questions. So I can see why you've had such tremendous success. And I think we're about to crack open the vault together, you and I. I think we can really make the world a better place. Yesterday, you and I spoke a little bit about heritage, and I know today is a Jewish holiday representing, freedom and connection to God. And, we work in a multicultural universe right now. And I have never met a human being like Sean Callaghan ever in my life, ever, period, bar none. And he is one of two out of 1.2 million lawyers that had two top 100 jury verdicts back to back, both criminal, both with $0 offering going in, and both with high 8-figure settlements in favor of him and his clients. He had to go up against the mafia, drug addicts, and very influential and affluential people in Arizona state government. And he's in AM Law's top 100 jury verdicts ever in history. Retired decamillionaire in his 30s, bought the beach house, had the dream, won the money game, won the time freedom game, and wore nothing but shorts and a baseball hat for 15 years. And quoting him, I was at every effing Gymboree class ever for all of his kids.
Wow.
Out of 1,000 games, he missed 7. Bought and sold.
Not many dads can say that.
He is captain of the Columbia baseball team. He is hoping to play for the New York Mets. He gets hit in the face with a baseball, and instantly his lifelong nightmare of going blind happens. So a blind man gets his dream of playing professional baseball taken from him. 3 varsity sports in high school, unanimous Columbia University baseball captain, thinks he's destined to be a broke blind man, goes to law school, figures out how to compartmentalize learning in boxes, crushes law school, gets the #1 job at the #1 law firm. He feels like he's Tom Cruise from the firm, waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, turning out the lights at midnight, walking across the street to the condo, and doing it all again. And 6 months later, he's like, this is terrible. This is the worst thing ever. And 2 Ivy League schools, law and undergrad, did not teach him how to run a business as a lawyer. He thought, all I have to do, head down, do the law. And he's like, that's not. You have to go create business. He says, I have to do sales and marketing? No way. I'm never doing it, ever. Quits the law firm. They offered him psychiatric counseling on the way out. Starts his first law firm for $100,000 on a credit card. Grows it to 40. Sells it for millions. Starts a new law firm. Grows it to 140. He is sole equity owner of a 140-person law firm.
I heard him say that yesterday.
He's recovered $500 million in medical fraud from hospitals, from insurance companies in service of hospitals and doctors.
Unbelievable.
And I am doing international business development with him. It's a career highlight and honor. And today, right now, behind me, here I am at the Borgata in Atlantic City at the New Jersey Bar Association annual convention. I prefer a bathing suit. I'm wearing a business suit. I got my pass, and I'm teaching businesses and law firms and lawyers and accountants and financial planners what I learned in 25 years of network marketing, which is forget, no one cares about your product or your service. I'm teaching them WIIFM, what's in it for me.
What's in it for me? I remember that.
I'm teaching them how to enroll, how to sell, how to market, because all of these great, smart, brilliant, beautiful people all have families. And in one sentence, here's what Unblinded does. For me, for you, for your listeners, for these lawyers, Leah, in one sentence, we help people create more money, more time, and more magic through self-mastery, process mastery, and influence mastery. And on Monday, when you are on the show, The Real Raw, you're going to get a teaser of influence mastery as we go from hello to yes with other professionals in a gamified, safe environment so that we all create more time, money, and magic.
It's like literally a godsend at this time in my life. You know, I always was a big fan of network marketing. I didn't join Amway. I was, approached multiple times, been to the house parties and purchased tons of products. I've been in a network marketing company called Agile. I don't know if you're familiar. It's okay. So, and I actually, invested some money, but made all that money back. And I loved the product, but not everyone needed vitamins. And I was pushing vitamins and doing a lot of house parties. But that's when I realized I'm good with people. So, okay, well, what kind of network marketing would I want to be in? And kind of forgot about it and never thought I'd be in it again. And it's just so interesting how I end up in relationship marketing, relationship sales, but in the financial sector, all due to the fact that I, was desperate to learn about money and get out of debt and start saving. Had no idea that it was going to be, oh, you can share this with other people. So I know that together I'm going to learn so much from you and the people that you're connecting me to. You're like the biggest connector, just putting people together. In fact, how I met you was actually from a huge connector, Terry J. Grumau. And he said, you got to meet Drew, and I put in a good word for you. I met him during COVID 2 years ago, and through him met a lot of other people. Your camera just kind of went blank, Drew. So I hope you're still there. Okay, there you are. So back to Sean for a quick minute. Is he blind in one eye currently?
He is blind in both eyes currently.
In both eyes?
Yeah. And
it was hard to see that in the video.
No, well, he's not a black glasses, white cane type of blind man. He is a surfing, double black diamond skiing blind man.
How?
Because his son does verbal commands in his helmet.
I can't.
All right.
So most people, what do you think they would do? How many pity parties would they throw? Right? I don't know how I would deal with that. But this guy, go ahead.
No, you said you're good at relationship marketing and business. You are exceptional. Your body language, your validation, your deep listening, your acknowledgement, your actual love and curiosity for other human beings. I have the honor and privilege of working with top leadership from multiple industries. You are a 1%er.
I'm gonna cry. I love you, and I'm so grateful for these words of encouragement, because there are times I feel like, am I in the right place? Every day isn't peaches and cream and butterflies and rainbows, as you know, but I do believe certain people are designed to be in this type of life where you deserve the best of the best. You'll do whatever it takes. That was my slogan when I ran the marathon, whatever it takes. And because you're hungry enough and you see the big picture, you want more for your family, you want more for your future, you want more. You don't want your kids to go through what you went through. And that stays on the forefront of your mind. And sometimes it's pain that leads you to do great things. Hopefully that turns into good feelings and joy that reminds you of, I want that good feeling again. But they're both motivators, right? And sometimes my fear motivator is much stronger, but whatever it's going to take, who cares? I think at this point, it's how many more people can you meet to inspire for them to take action, because everyone can do something to make a difference. And everybody wants a better life. Everyone deserves freedom of time and choices. And money gives you that. Money really gives you that. We're slaves to jobs, what, for 40 years, 40 hours a week. And for what? You're still living in fear you're going to get fired. People don't realize what's out there.
There is a formula to having more money, more time, and more magic. Sean's been teaching it for 30 years. He taught it under Callagy Law, Callagy Development and Training under Callagy Law. 2 months before COVID hit, he launched Unblinded. So Sean's story you just heard. Adam was the #1 sales agent in ADP, passed up vice president position, and helped grow a solar company from 3 million to 756 million. He's a super business accelerating expert.
Wow.
And the third partner is Fernando. And Fernando is a Colombian immigrant, lived above a Chinese food restaurant with roaches growing up, went to a wedding, fell in love with the DJ, the band, and the photographer, learned the wedding industry, did hundreds of events within the wedding industry, modeled leaders, took that expertise into corporate, did 2,500 corporate events, and had 2 7-figure exits in his 20s.
Oh my God.
The three of them launched Unblinded at a Tony Robbins Business Mastery event. Sean goes to Tony Robbins Business Mastery. 15 years ago, he had read Awaken the Giant Within. It changed his life. He actually, and for all you and your listeners, you want to write this down. He actually, Moses is like, he's writing this down. He's ready. He implemented what was taught in the book. Imagine that. So most people don't buy the book. The ones that buy the book, most don't read it. The ones that read it, they don't implement it. They have a little badge on their shirt that says, I read the book. So Sean implemented it. It changed his life. He made millions. So he went to an event. He got hit in the face with a high five because he's blind. He saw all these raving Tony Robbins fans, lunatics. And he met one person. And he said, this is amazing. He's like, yeah, I've been here 18 times. Sean's like, 18 times? You must have the life of your dreams and must be crushing it. He's like, no, I'm still trying to figure it out. And Sean's like, wait a second. I read the book 15 years ago. It changed my life. You've been coming to these live events 15 times and you still don't know what to do? And Sean's like, got it. That world is broken. So this is my favorite story of all time. So Sean is a multi-millionaire. He is in the back row of a Tony Robbins event. He is blind as a bat, and not one person knows who he is. He's already created his millions. He already has $1 million in the bank in a trust account to give away. Tony Robbins at a Tony Robbins Business Mastery auctions off $100 bill. They auction off a $100 bill. Tony Robbins signs it. It goes to charity. It's fun. It's a game. He's been doing it all the time. And it starts bidding 100, 200, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. And Sean is sitting in the back. His knee is shaking. Not a soul knows him. The person who's bidding is in the front. She's called some kind of diamond elite. She offers 50 grand, the highest that's ever been offered at a Tony Robbins event. The room is going crazy. And Sean declares in that moment, this is it. This is the moment I've been preparing for my whole life. A quiet, introverted nobody stands on the chair, screams at the top of his lungs, I'm in for 100 grand. And if anyone wants to try me, I'm going to an effing million. And the place goes absolutely bananas because at the last event, someone bid high and didn't pay because he didn't know it was he thought it was a game.
Oh God.
So Tony Robbins is going nuts on the stage. They have to figure out, who is this Sean Callagy? Is he going to pay 100 grand? Is this real? Disruption everywhere. And
Sure.
Sean, for 100 grand, buys instant ecosystem fame in the Tony Robbins world. And now he is privileged to have spoken on Tony Robbins' stage 16 times. And he has outsold Tony on Tony Robbins' stage, selling Tony Robbins products. And now the legacy of Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, is now continuing. And Tony Robbins, there's a video of Tony Robbins, hand on Tony's heart, hand on Sean's heart,
I have to see
tears
this video.
pouring down Sean's face. And Tony Robbins says, Sean Callagy leads with more heart and integrity than anyone. If you don't know what he's up to, get to know him. And Sean knows that that was $100 million endorsement. And he knew in that moment in time that he was knighted by the greats,
For sure.
and he was going to use that gift properly.
Wow.
And that's what you're going to have exposure to on The Real Raw on Monday.
Oh my God. You know, and I never forget where I come from. One of the things my husband taught me was, don't forget where you come from. And I think, you know, and as Jews, we are always repeating the story. Every time we come to Passover, we repeat the story of leaving Egypt. You always remember what once was and where you are today. And I know that I had to make a decision during COVID. Am I going to just wait this thing out? Or am I going to take advantage and learn Zoom and meet people all around the country and all around the world? And you have an option to say yes to things. And one of the things I realized is you got to say yes to opportunities. You just don't know where it's going to lead. It's okay to go in blindly, but go with your gut and go with your heart. And I was approached on LinkedIn by this gentleman, Terry J, for a 15-minute call. And I thought that it was a phone call. So I said yes, and I went for a walk. And I live on the lake, and I went for a walk on the lake. And meanwhile, like, he's trying to reach me, and I'm like, wait, I didn't know it was a Zoom, because I really didn't get into Zoom so much. We ended up talking, and I agreed to a Zoom, but saying yes to that led me to so many incredible opportunities. And fast forward 2.5 years later, here I am meeting you, who is introducing me to this gentleman, Sean, and being a guest on the show on Monday. You just don't know people. You've got to say yes. I mean, it's funny. I was joking with my husband the other day. There was another speech you give people: learn how to say no, right? Value your time. Stop saying yes to everybody. But you know what I'm talking about. In moments, you might say, well, what is it? Where's that going to give me immediate gratification now? What's in it for me? Where's the money? They're not getting into any type of, product that I can get them into, or they're not joining my team. The point is, this world is big, but it's smaller than you think. And relationships are the reason we are here. The reason we are born. You've got to give everything you've got to everyone you can. And that means showing up in your best, at your best, with a smile, right? And so I just love doing that. And then it leads to great things. So I'm so glad that I said yes to you. I'm so glad I said yes to Terry. I'm so glad that I said yes to Kevin. You know, how I met Kevin was a gentleman on our team, Michael. Michael recruited Moses. And Michael introduced me to Kevin, and I was on his show in his living room, and he made me a cocktail. It was part of, how he does his show, his Way to Wow. And then that was a great recording, sent it to a lot of people, helped a lot of people. But then I get a call and asked, he wants to produce his show. And it was on my dream board to have a show for a very long time, to have a talk show. In fact, on my dream board, right outside this door, is a picture of the Ellen show, her stage. But instead of Ellen, I wrote Leah. The Leah Show. Now, God might say yes to your dreams and goals, and they might look a little different, a different color, a different size, right? A different style. But here we are today. I get to meet you and bring your expertise and your personality to people that I love and care about. And we just don't even know where this is going to reach. That's the beauty of this. One day, someone's going to say, I saw that episode and it changed my life. Or I got to meet Drew because of you. And I love that about what we're doing today.
Well, I appreciate your wisdom, your tenacity, your humility. Even though you're a powerhouse, you're staying humble and great, which makes you even more professionally attractive. And you mentioned saying yes several times. So I'm going to give a gift to everyone who's listening. So part of Sean's brilliance is the hello to yes formula. And I'm going to give it to you so that you and your listeners can use it. It's a formula. It works every % of the time with our clients who will pay a lot of money. We drill this, we teach this, we do it daily, we practice it, micro distinctions. There's 4 parts to the hello to yes formula.
We're ready for the formula.
Step 1, emotional rapport. There's ways to develop emotional rapport, scientific study. There's actually 5 parts to how to get emotional rapport, because everything, here are the 5 parts on how to get to emotional rapport. Where are you? Where have you been? Where are you going? What's not working? What's working and what's not working? Every human on the planet has those 5 things in common, and they're very easy to talk about. So step 1, emotional rapport. Step 2, pain to yes strategy. You got to figure out where people are wanting to go and where they're struggling. And if you know their pain, you can help them. Part 3 is your heroic, unique identity. So here's how to go from hello to yes. You develop deep emotional rapport. You figure out the pain to yes strategy. You deliver at the right time your own heroic, unique identity, your superpower, your gift to the world, timed right when you identified their pain. And step 4 is you don't close the deal. You don't pitch. You create agreement formation. That strategy is $1 million strategy. And it takes a minute to learn and a lifetime to master, because each one of those micro distinctions is the difference between incremental and exponential growth. And that's what we do at Unblinded. And that's what we do as part of our show. And we do it for free as a value add to the community, because we know that when we add value to the community and we bring amazing people like Leah to the show and we teach influence and how to go from hello to yes, magic happens.
I am so excited to begin the journey of mastering it, even if it takes my whole life. Because one thing I learned, Drew, along the way, magic is created, even if it's not mastered, because you're on the right path and the right track and you have the right support. And if you're doing it right, you're going to get there. And I love the journey piece of it. So now that I have these 4 things, and I'm so excited to just digest them and really understand them, and want to sharpen my tools to even learn how to do some of the things I'm good at, but I can always get way better. Because we only have a couple more minutes, I want to open it up for any questions, because if you're here right now, you for sure have something on your mind that you're dying to ask Drew. So raise your hand or just unmute yourself. It's funny, the guests that are on here, we're all in the same organization, and we're all in network marketing, but it's really leadership development. Like I told you on the phone yesterday, leadership development in the financial industry. Marie Carole she's someone who I got to watch her success so that I could follow in her footsteps, reach a pivotal position in our firm, which I've done. And I have Batya on here, who's actually my personal assistant, is on here with us. And she has her own team of licensed agents. Johanna's out of our office too. And Moses, like I mentioned, he's in Georgia. So interesting. We have Marie Carole in Boise, Idaho. Johanna and Rachel and I were all in California. Kevin's in California. Moses is in Atlanta, Georgia. We're everywhere. And if no one had a question, that just means you delivered some really good food for thought, that they're going, I really have work to do. And it starts here. The self-mastery is crucial. And it's not just in business. I think you got to be congruent. Family, right? Faith, wherever you are, you've got to master you in those situations, because that's the common denominator in where you're going to find yourself. Is that right?
Absolutely. So I have a question for you.
Okay.
Would you be open sometime in late May or early June for us to honor you and do a Team Leah only Real Raw, so we can teach the hello to yes formula to your top teammates so that they can expand their empires? Would you be open to that?
More than open.
Fantastic.
I'm beyond grateful. Like, seriously, that's the biggest gift you can give me. Seriously. I'm humbled by that. Thank you.
Can I ask you another question?
Yes.
Which would intrigue you more? If you just heard that Sean was training at Tony Robbins, the NFL, Disney, or the US government, which one would intrigue you, like just a little bit more, like, oh, that's interesting?
It's such a funny question, and they're all intriguing. When I think US government, I'm like, okay, that he's made it. NFL, there's a funny thing with me in football, because I've never understood football. My husband is a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan, and I try to watch with him and try to understand. So there's a piece of me that would be like, I want to get in that world. So they're all, you said NFL, Tony Robbins, the government. What was the fourth one? Disney? Talk to me. What makes you ask that question?
Because he's currently training at all four. And this is a blind, this is a blind lawyer.
I love it. So inspiring. No excuses. We all make them. He's not. Unreal.
He's also fun. So I told him my blind joke. I'll tell you my blind joke, and then
okay,
probably call it a day. I have to go talk to these lawyers. Why did the blind man fall into the well?
He didn't see the hole.
He didn't see that well.
That's good.
Yeah.
Drew, I'm going to let you go. I know you made this time for me. Yes, it was last minute. So powerful, so good. I can't wait for more. This was a teaser. This definitely was a teaser for me, because I know that in a year from now, when I look back on today, I'm going to say that's where it started. I know that.
Well, magic's going to happen. I'll leave you with my favorite expression of all time. I've been training this sentence for 10 years, 15 years. Every time I say it, it's because I'm teaching myself. If you want to change your life, you have to change your life. Because if nothing changes, nothing changes.
I almost said a bad word, and I'll just say, A.
Well, I couldn't possibly be more appreciative. Leah, you are a leader's leader, a exemplary communicator, a trainer of trainers, the top 1%, those who have the privilege to learn with you, work with you, grow with you, is incredible. The team you've built is exceptional. We hope to add just a little bit of fuel to that fire and really help you exponentially hit your goals of more money, more time, and more magic. And I'm going to go back to playing the lawyer game.
Okay.
And We'll see you on Monday. We
I'll
have a
see
lot
you
of
Monday
follow-up.
and then we'll strategize for the team. I'm so grateful for you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And thank you all for coming on. And if you're watching this live stream, I am so proud of you and good for you for stopping your day at 1 p.m. and learning from Drew Berman. Thank you, Kevin, as always, and stay tuned next week for more. Have a phenomenal rest of your Thursday, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.